How to outsmart your old frequency to manifest your desired reality. Until you are fully capable of understanding how the old frequency of you thinks and operates, it will have one up on you. See, what most people fail to realize is this: the moment you made the decision to shift from your current reality to your desired one, and shift from your old frequency to your new frequency, you didn't just set a goal, you triggered something far more formidable into existence. You consciously activated the defense mechanisms of your old frequency. This old frequency isn't passive, nor is it a people pleaser. It's not going to politely step aside and let the new you emerge without a fight. It's a living frequency, a living entity. Or you can also conceptualize it to be an energetic pattern encoded with habits, thoughts, emotional reactions, and subconscious programs. It knows your weaknesses. It knows the emotional hooks that keep you looping because it's a blind intelligence. And as long as you remain comfortable in your current reality, you don't have the old frequency. It has you. And now the fact that you're trying to step out of alignment with it, it's fighting for survival. Before we can talk about creating the life you want, we need to address the game you're already in, the one you probably didn't even realize you were playing. Your old frequency isn't just background noise, it's an unconscious program that's been shaping your patterns, your habits, and your emotional reactions for years. Now that you're trying to step into a new frequency, it's doing everything it can to pull you back. And this isn't random resistance. This frequency isn't here for your growth. It doesn't care about your dreams or your potential. Its only mission is survival. It does that by keeping you emotionally and energetically tied to the version of yourself that feels familiar, even if that version is unsatisfied, stagnant, or stuck. This is why progress so often feels like a loop. You take a few steps forward, only to snap back like a rubber band. It's not because you lack discipline. It's because you're dealing with a built-in defense system designed to preserve the old paradigm, which is your old frequency. If you don't understand how it works, you'll keep falling for its traps. What you must take note of is this: the old frequency has its own playbook. Its goal is simple: keep you locked in place, keep you looping, keep you believing that change is impossible. It does this through three core defense mechanisms: mental sabotage, emotional hooks, and behavioral loops. Together, these work like an invisible system designed to protect its territory and stop you from stepping into your desired reality. But here's the good news: once you know the game, you can outplay it. In this chapter, I'm going to give you the full playbook, not just so you can see how the old frequency operates, but so you can study its defense, anticipate its moves, and go on the offensive. The goal isn't to fight the old frequency. Fighting it only feeds it. Your job is to outsmart it, recognize its games, detach emotionally, and starve it of the only thing it needs to survive: your energy. Let's understand the game on the defensive side. There are three core defense mechanisms of the old frequency: mental sabotage, emotional hooks, and behavior loops. The objective of the defensive game is simple. The old frequency wants to keep you locked in place. It deploys three core defense mechanisms: mental, emotional, and physical, to protect its dominance and stop you from stepping into your desired reality. Your job is to outsmart it, to recognize the game, step back, and starve it of the one thing it needs to live: your energy. Mental sabotage, cognitive loops. The first line of defense is mental. The more you entertain mental sabotage, the more energy you give to the old frequency. Your old frequency operates through cognitive loop automatic thought patterns designed to justify why you should stay exactly where you are, why you shouldn't manifest your desired reality, and why it's so hard to break free. Mental sabotage is an entity that whispers in your subconscious mind. This isn't going to work. You've tried before and failed. Why bother? This is just who you are. These aren't innocent passing thoughts. They're weapons of inertia, subtle scripts running beneath your awareness to convince you change is impossible. And because they sound like your own voice, you rarely question them. But these thoughts are not random. They're the result of deeply worn neural pathways connections forged through years of repetition. Every time you thought a certain way in the past, especially with emotional charge, you strengthened that pathway. Now, the old frequency fires these familiar patterns automatically. It doesn't need evidence. It doesn't need logic. It just needs familiarity. And the more you entertain these thoughts, even for a moment, the more energy you feed back into the old program, the old frequency, which reinforces its dominance. To break free, you have to recognize mental sabotage for what it is, a defense mechanism, not a reflection of reality at all. These thoughts are designed to feel true because they're based on memory, not possibility. They're just echoes of an outdated identity trying to keep you from outgrowing it. Your job is not to fight them, but to interrupt them. Every time one surfaces, pause and remind yourself, this is a loop. It's not who I am anymore. With consistent awareness and redirection, you begin to starve the old neural pathways and carve out new ones aligned with your new frequency. Emotional hooks, energetic triggers. The second line of defense operates in the realm of emotion. Your old frequency knows that logic alone isn't enough to hold you captive. It needs to engage your energy directly. This is why it pulls on emotional memory. It stirs up fear, doubt, anger, sadness, or even guilt. Emotions so familiar to your system that they feel like truth. But they're not. They're energetic signatures of the old identity, reverberating in your nervous system, keeping you tied to a version of yourself that no longer exists. This is why you might feel resistance, discomfort, or even panic when you try to make changes. It's not because change is dangerous. It's because your nervous system has been conditioned to associate new with unsafe. Here's why this works so effectively. Emotion is energy in motion, and the stronger the emotional charge, the more power it has to pull you back into alignment with the old frequency. This is why the moment you try to step into a higher version of you, you may suddenly feel resistance, discomfort, or even panic. The unfamiliar triggers a primal survival response, not because you're in real danger, but because the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between emotional discomfort and physical threat. Breaking free requires more than suppressing these emotions. Suppression only feeds them in silence. Instead, you must face them with awareness. When fear surfaces, don't react, observe. When doubt whispers, don't argue nor react, just detach. When anger rises, don't spiral, just breathe. Every time you feel an emotional trigger and refuse to engage it, you reclaim your energy. You teach your nervous system that the unfamiliar is no longer unsafe. Over time, the emotional hooks lose their grip, and the old frequency weakens its hold on your reality. This is the greatest cheat code to learn about manifestation, because most people think it's their thoughts creating reality, but it's actually their emotional state that does the heavy lifting. This is why mastering your emotions isn't optional. It's the gateway to mastering your reality. The old frequency isn't sustained by logic. It's sustained by emotional reactions. The moment you stop reacting and start observing, you cut off its fuel source. You shift from being unconsciously pulled by the past to consciously stepping into the vibration of your desired reality. And when you hold that state long enough, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself around you. Behavioral loops, physical patterns. The final defense of the old frequency takes shape in your actions, or more often, your inactions. This is where it deploys behavioral locks, procrastination, self-sabotage, unhealthy routines, or a magnetic pull toward comfort zones that feel safe but silently kill growth. These aren't just bad habits. They are physical signals to your subconscious mind that reinforce, we're still this person. Nothing has changed. Every time you indulge them, you strengthen the energetic framework of the old identity. What makes these behavioral loops so dangerous is their subtlety. You may not even notice them at first. It's skipping the gym just this once, endlessly scrolling instead of starting your project, saying yes to distractions that keep you from alignment. One missed action doesn't seem significant, but these small, repeated compromises compound. They become gravitational pulls that lock you back into the frequency of stagnation. In this way, the old self doesn't need to destroy your progress. It only needs to delay it over and over until momentum dies. The only way to dismantle these loops is through conscious interruption. You must act in defiance of the old identity, not by giant leaps, but by consistent, aligned micro-actions. Even 5 minutes of journaling, a single healthy meal, or a brief meditation sends a powerful message to your subconscious. This is no longer who we are. With repetition, these small acts of discipline reprogram your nervous system and begin building momentum for the new self. Over time, aligned behavior becomes your default, and the physical anchors of the old frequency lose their power. The trap of the old frequency. Here's the dangerous part. These defense mechanisms don't attack you in obvious ways. They don't arrive with alarms or flashing red lights. They slip in quietly, like a thief in the night. A single lazy day that you rationalize as rest. A little self-doubt that you dismiss as realistic thinking. One harmless slip back into old habits because you've been doing so well lately. Alone, each seems small, insignificant even. But together, these micro-compromises weave an invisible web that pulls you back into alignment with the old frequency. Left unchecked, they create a gravitational field so strong you can't tell if you're making progress or running in circles. This is how the old frequency survives, not through brute force, but through subtlety. It doesn't need to defeat you outright. It only needs you to hesitate long enough to lose momentum. And because these patterns feel so familiar, they rarely trigger alarms in your mind. They feel like you. That's the most dangerous illusion, that the resistance you feel is reality, when in truth, it's just the program trying to preserve itself. This is why awareness of the defense is everything. Awareness allows you to see these defense mechanisms for what they are, automated loops and not objective truth. The moment you can name them, observe them, and refuse to engage emotionally, you break their spell. You take back your energy. You take back your choice. Awareness doesn't mean the patterns stop appearing. It means they lose their ability to pull you under. It's in that space of observation where you reclaim your power and redirect it toward building the new playbook. The game is not to fight these mechanisms. Fighting only feeds them. The game is to study the playbook. That's how you observe old frequency defensiveness, detach from it, and redirect your energy into new patterns that align with your desired frequency. When you refuse to react emotionally to your old reality, you starve the old frequency. When you feed your new identity with thought, emotion, and action, you build momentum for your new frequency. This is how you break the cycle, not by force, but by alignment. The key: awareness and discipline. When you refuse to emotionally react to the old reality, the old frequency, you then cut off its energy supply. You stop letting the old frequency dictate the motion of energy. You reclaim your authority as the conscious creator, setting new emotional patterns in motion that align with your desired state. This is the true work of manifestation, not just thinking differently, but feeling differently until it imprints as a new subconscious identity. This is why Neville Goddard said, You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Because until you learn to dwell in the state of your desired reality, you will unconsciously keep feeding the old one. Your emotions, your inner conversations, are the fuel. If they stay tied to what was, they cannot create what will be. This is why Joe Dispenza said, "Your personality creates your personal reality." Because until you reprogram the subconscious patterns that shape your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you'll keep living on autopilot, stuck in the feedback loop of the past. The old frequency of you isn't passive. It's a set of neurological networks and emotional habits that resists change at every turn. This is why Bob Proctor said, "If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand." But until you align your subconscious mind with the vision, the old paradigm will pull you back into stagnation. Visualization alone isn't enough if your emotional state is still vibrating out of lack, doubt, or fear. They were all pointing to the same truth. You can't outthink the old frequency you have to outfeel it. You have to train the subconscious to accept the new frequency as familiar. Because until you do, the old emotional signatures, the old frequency will keep commanding your energy and keeping you bound to the reality you're trying to escape. What most people don't realize is this: it's not the thought alone that creates. A thought is like a seed. It holds potential, but remains dormant until emotion waters it. Again, emotions are energy in motion, and they're what give a thought its charge, positive or negative. It's the primary language of the subconscious mind. Let's get into how the old frequency was even built. It was built through repetition, through thoughts repeated so often that they became beliefs, through emotions replayed so deeply they became identities, through behaviors performed so consistently they became a way of life. And the subconscious doesn't care if those patterns serve your highest good or hold you hostage. It doesn't care if you are a good person or a bad person. It cares about stabilizing what's familiar, what is normalized in regards to your emotional state, because to the subconscious mind and the universe, familiarity equals safety. When a thought merges with emotion, it becomes alive. That fusion generates an energetic signature strong enough to impress the subconscious mind. The subconscious doesn't respond to intellectual reasoning. It responds to the frequency of your emotional state. This is how realities are planted and materialized, not by just thinking differently, but through feeling differently as well. But let me make this clear. Manifestation, at its core, is not about forcing reality to bend to your will. It's the practice of shifting so deeply within yourself that your sense of wholeness is no longer reliant on what unfolds outside of you. When you are at peace, both with it and without it, when your inner state is unshaken, that is when manifestation becomes inevitable. Anything less keeps you trapped in the old frequency. Now think of your thoughts like drops of water. A single drop makes no impact, but thoughts repeated over hours, days, weeks become rivers, and rivers carve out valleys. Over time, these repeated thought forms gather momentum and give birth to something alive, an energetic entity. This entity is the old frequency of you. It is not some abstract concept. It is a real, energetic construct created by years of consistent emotional and mental patterns. Remember, it is a blind intelligence, programmed only to think, feel, and react in proportion to how you trained it. It doesn't hate you. It's not evil. It simply exists to maintain the familiar. Its job is survival, and survival for it means keeping you stagnant. Every time you try to move forward, it pulls you back, not because it's powerful, but because it's familiar. Familiarity to the subconscious equals safety, even if that safety is misery. These entities aren't just abstract ideas. They show up in your life every single day, disguised as quote-unquote you. For example, that voice in your head saying, "You've failed before, you'll fail again." That's an entity, a thought form created from years of self-doubt and disappointment. That heavy emotional pull toward people, habits, or environments you know aren't good for you. That's an entity trying to preserve its food source, your attention and energy. The anxious loop of what-ifs, when you try to step into something new, that's not intuition. It's a programmed frequency fighting to keep you in the familiar. The societal belief that you need to struggle to succeed is an entity. It's been fed for centuries by collective fear and hardship. The cultural narrative that people like you don't make it out is an entity reinforced by generations of hopelessness and trauma. Even movements fueled by outrage or fear often unconsciously become entities, aggressive energies that feed on attention and keep whole groups vibrating in conflict. These entities don't have consciousness like you do. Again, this may sound repetitive. I just have to stress that the blind intelligences don't hate you. It simply exists to repeat and preserve the state that created them. Their survival depends on your emotional and mental participation. Every time you react to them through fear, anger, or despair, you're feeding them. And every time you choose neutrality, you're starving them. To break free, you have to stop fighting the old frequency and start starving it. This is how you play offense. Withdraw your energy. Stop emotionally charging those old thought forms. Begin feeding the new frequency, the version of you that thinks, feels, and acts from the reality you want to live. The question is no longer, how do I get what I want? The real question is, how do I stop fueling what I don't want and redirect my energy into what I desire? To do this, you must program the new frequency, intentionally feeding the new frequency until it gains enough momentum to become your default state. This isn't about effort in the physical, it's about alignment in the mental, emotional, and spiritual planes of existence. All three levels must agree for true transformation to lock in. Mental clarity without emotional regulation creates inner conflict. Emotional neutrality without aligned action keeps you in fantasy. And action without mental or emotional alignment burns you out. But when all three planes are synchronized, the old frequency collapses under its own weight. Reality has no choice but to mirror the new you. Here's how to play offense, step by step. Thought replacement, mental reprogramming. Your thoughts are the seeds of your reality. Every time you think a thought, especially one charged with emotion, you're planting it in the subconscious mind. Over time, repeated thoughts form neurological pathways. Default scripts your mind runs automatically. If your old frequency is built on thoughts like, "I never stick to anything, I always fail, nothing ever works out for me," then every time you allow that thought to run unchallenged, you water that seed. To program a new frequency, you must plant and water new seeds deliberately. This means replacing old loops with statements like, "I'm becoming a person who follows through. Each small step proves my commitment." It's not about saying it once, it's about catching the old thought in the act and audibly or mentally replacing it with the new one every single time. At first, it will feel unnatural, even fake, but that's because you're rewiring a well-worn neural pathway. Stay consistent, and it becomes automatic. Emotional conditioning, energetic programming. Thoughts without emotion are weak. It's emotion that impresses the subconscious and gives life to new realities. This is why the old self clings to fear, anger, and doubt, because those emotions are strong frequencies that keep you vibrating in the past. To override it, you have to train your emotional body to live in the state of the desired reality. Imagine the version of you who already has what you want. How do they feel? Confident? Grateful? Calm? Inspired? I need you to understand you're the one reinforcing the old frequency you're trying to escape. For the very fact that you're still giving it your attention, still reacting to it, still analyzing and replaying it in your mind, you're feeding its momentum. As long as you stay emotionally entangled with the old patterns, whether through anger, fear, or even overthinking, you're keeping yourself tied to the very reality you're trying to leave behind. You can engage, defend, or wrestle with it all day long, but you're not shifting, you're sustaining. To truly escape, you have to withdraw your energy completely and redirect it into the vibration of the reality you actually want to experience. Every morning, spend 5 minutes breathing deeply and summoning those emotions as if they're real. See yourself in your ideal life, but don't just see it. Feel it. Let your body memorize the emotional signature of your desired state. Over time, the subconscious will accept this as your new baseline. Behavioral shifts, physical programming. Your habits are physical anchors for your identity. The old entity has a routine: procrastination, staying up late, scrolling aimlessly, or indulging negative self-talk. Each behavior reaffirms, "This is who I am." To feed the new frequency, you have to act as if you're already that version of yourself, even in small ways. If the new frequency of you works out, journals, runs a business, or eats clean, begin doing 5-minute versions of those actions today. Don't wait for motivation. Movement creates momentum. Even tiny, consistent actions send a message to the subconscious. We're serious about this shift. Environmental upgrades, external programming. Your environment either reinforces your old identity or supports your new one. Look around. Are you surrounded by people, spaces, and media that align with your desired self? Or are you marinating in low vibrational energy? The old frequency thrives in environments that feel familiar: chaotic homes, negative conversations, cluttered spaces. It's time to starve it. Audit your environment ruthlessly. Start with small changes. Clean your room as a symbolic reset. Replace toxic playlists with uplifting ones. Spend less time around people who drag you back into old patterns. This is why detoxing is critical before you even begin programming the new frequency. Detoxing isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and energetic. You have to clear out the heavy emotional residue, release toxic thought patterns, and disconnect from environments, relationships, and habits that keep you tied to the old self. Detoxing creates space, and without space, the new frequency has nowhere to take root. Curate your world to reflect the version of you that you're becoming. Every choice you make, from how you spend your time to the environments you allow yourself to dwell in, either reinforces your old identity or nurtures your new one. The spaces you frequent and the energy you engage with should align with the future version of yourself, not the one you're leaving behind. Remember, you cannot step fully into a new reality while clinging to remnants of the old one. Familiarity can be subtle. It hides in daily routines, in patterns of self-talk, and in the environments you've outgrown. Begin small. Reorganize your space, simplify your routines, and let go of anything physical or energetic that carries the weight of the past. Each act of release weakens the grip of the old frequency and strengthens the pull of the new. Detoxing is not about deprivation, it's about alignment. It's the process of preparing your inner and outer world to hold a higher vibration. When you clear out what no longer resonates, you create fertile ground for your desired reality to take root. Without this space, any attempt to program a new frequency will feel like pouring fresh water into a clogged system. Detoxing also requires radical honesty with yourself. You have to ask, What am I still holding on to that affirms the old version of me? Is it the way you speak about your life? The daily habits you perform without question? The environments you keep returning to out of comfort? True transformation demands that you strip away everything that no longer reflects who you are becoming. This isn't about loss. It's about making a deliberate trade, releasing the weight of what was to step fully into what can be. Now that you're aware of the entire playbook, both the defensive strategies of the old frequency and the offensive moves to counter them, the real work begins. You can begin the work of dismantling it, stripping away the layers of the old identity it has constructed. Thought by thought, emotion by emotion, habit by habit. And in its place, you begin transmitting a new frequency, one aligned with the reality you desire, one that reshapes not just how you think, but how you exist, because you are now aware. Make no mistake, awareness alone isn't enough. This is where you move from knowing to embodying, from intellectual understanding to energetic alignment. Breaking free requires discipline on all three planes of existence: mental, emotional, and spiritual. You're no longer reacting unconsciously to the traps of your past identity. You're consciously rewriting the program with every thought you redirect, every emotion you master, and every action you align. This is the transition from survival to sovereignty, from living on autopilot to creating with intention. Remember, this isn't a one-time breakthrough. It's a daily commitment to outgrow the old self and anchor your new frequency until it becomes your default state. The more consistent you are, the less power the old frequency has to pull you back. At some point, it doesn't just weaken, it collapses entirely. That's when you realize you were never trapped. You were just rehearsing a reality that no longer fits. It must evolve into intentional, consistent action. You've dismantled the illusions of the old frequency, cleared the clutter it fed on, and created the space for something new. But a vacuum will always pull in the familiar unless you intentionally fill it with the patterns, thoughts, and emotions of your desired reality. Detoxing prepares the soil, but detachment is what keeps the weeds from returning. Because even after you've released toxic patterns, environments, and emotional residues, the old frequency will still test you. It will whisper through familiar triggers, hoping you'll emotionally engage and feed it again. This is why detachment is also critical. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about no longer being emotionally dependent on outcomes, people, or old stories to define your new state of being. It's the discipline of holding your inner peace steady no matter what the external world does. When you master detachment, you cut off the lifeline of the old frequency. You stop feeding it energy every time circumstances don't match your expectations. You're no longer pulled into reaction cycles, fear when something doesn't go your way, excitement when it does. Instead, you stand in the middle, grounded, centered, watching your reality shift like clouds in the sky. This neutrality isn't apathy, it's mastery. It's the ability to hold your inner state steady, no matter what the outer world tries to mirror back at you. Detachment also is not about disengaging from life or abandoning your desires. It's about releasing the emotional dependency that says, "I need this result to feel whole." When you let go of the need to see evidence, you free yourself from the gravitational pull of the old timeline. This is where the subconscious finally loosens its grip, because you're no longer reinforcing the program with reactions. You are simply vibrating at the frequency of the version of you who already has what they desire. From this space of detachment, true transformation happens. You're no longer chasing or resisting. You're aligning. You stop leaking energy to old frequency and redirect it entirely into feeding your new identity. It's here, in this state of calm expectation, that the external world begins to reflect your internal shift, not as a reward for your effort, but as a natural consequence of who you've become. This is where you begin to reprogram. This is where you stop feeding energy to the blind intelligence of your past self and start building momentum for the version of you that already lives your highest timeline. You're no longer asking, "How do I get there?" You're embodying, "I am already becoming." The next steps are not about hustling or forcing. They're about aligning with the frequency of your future self until it becomes second nature. Here's how you deliberately feed the new entity and program the frequency that will carry you into your desired reality. It's about outsmarting your old frequency. It isn't about overpowering it. When you master detachment, you cut off its energy supply. You stop engaging with its mental traps, emotional hooks, and behavioral loops. Instead of fighting with the old frequency, you rise above it. You no longer ask, "How do I escape?" Because you understand escape isn't necessary. The old frequency cannot survive without your emotional participation. When you stop reacting, you stop reinforcing it. And from that place of calm neutrality, you gain the upper hand. It's no longer running the game. This is the moment your power returns to you. From this stillness, you begin to consciously feed the new identity, the version of you that already exists in your desired reality. Every thought you think, every emotion you cultivate, every action you take is now aligned with that higher frequency. You're not forcing change from the outside in, you're embodying change from the inside out. This isn't hustling, this isn't striving. Its alignment is so deep, it becomes your second nature. You're no longer dependent on evidence in the external world, because you know the inner shift precedes the outer reflection. This is the true work of manifestation. It's not about controlling outcomes. It's about becoming the person for whom those outcomes are inevitable. When you live in this state, reality no longer feels like something you're trying to control. It becomes a mirror, faithfully reflecting the frequency you've chosen to sustain. This is how you outsmart your old frequency, not through force, but through embodiment. This is the paradox most miss. When you stop needing the desire, you collapse the distance between you and it. And this is where the process of reprogramming begins. It's the calm knowing that you're already aligned with what you seek, and because of that, its arrival is inevitable. From this place, you're no longer reacting to your old reality. You're no longer trying to prove or force anything. You've shifted from doing to being, from striving to receiving. And that shift doesn't just change what you attract, it changes who you are. Here's how you deliberately feed the new state of being and install the frequency that will carry you into the life you've been trying to manifest. Just by simply being aligned with your new frequency, you outsmart your old frequency and bring your desires into fruition. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're ready to go deeper, join us in the Quantum Frequency community. Thanks for watching.